Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel, here at commaik. In this video, I want to show you how I install my new Reolink 810A on my house. I'll show you how I connect the surveillance camera to the network and how I set up the camera in the phone app, on the computer client and on the NVR. If you want to know how it works, stay tuned. We're starting in just a moment. For monitoring in the past, I used cameras from TrendNet and Hikvision to monitor my property. The cameras were connected to my QNAP NS. Since my QNAP TS251 had to handle a total of 9 cameras, it was simply overwhelmed when I switched to the new cameras with higher resolution. That's why I bought an NVR RLN36. This is a network video recorder, the Reolink RLN36. I have already set it up and installed the new Reolink cameras. The corresponding video is linked for you in the corner above. There you can see how to set up the Reolink NVR and how to access the video recordings. However, there were many questions about this video. Among other things, I was often asked how I can add a new camera to the network and how I can then connect the camera to the network recorder. You wanted to know how I can connect the camera via the browser, the client, or with the app on the phone. These questions I will answer in this video. I'll show you how I install my new camera. The Reolink RC810A is an outdoor surveillance camera with a resolution of 8 megapixels. The camera can be powered with a regular power adapter via the corresponding port on the cable harness. At the same time, operation via PoE is also possible. PoE stands for Power over Ethernet. In this case, the power supply is provided through the network cable. This means that an already installed network cable can be used and you don't need an additional power supply. Both data transmission and power supply are handled through the regular network cable. To ensure that the power reaches the camera at the end of the cable, it naturally be supplied from the other end. For this, you need a PoE capable switch or a PoE injector, which injects the power into the network cable. If you are looking for the right devices, just check the video description below. I've linked the components that I personally use. The camera itself is quite compact and manageable in size. However, my old TrendNet camera is a bit smaller and also lighter. The Reolink RC810A has an aluminum housing and, in addition to the camera lens on the front, also features infrared LEDs to illuminate the area at night. On the back, there is a slot for a micro SD card. The camera's recordings, alarm triggered or 24/7 continuous recording, can be stored directly on the camera. You don't need a video recorder, a computer, or even a NAS. The recordings can be made exclusively via the camera. With the app, the browser, or the client, the data can be accessed from the camera at any time. This system works very well. I personally use both the SD card and the NVR in parallel. If one of these storage media happens to fail, I can still reliably access the other storage. So I will first insert and then carefully initialize an SD card within the camera. After that, I will proceed to securely install the camera onto the NVR. But enough with all the words and announcements. How do I install a PoE camera in the network? Basically, what you will essentially need is a network cable that runs directly from your Power over Ethernet PoE switch or a PoE capable device, NVR, or the PoE injector to the spot where the camera will later be installed. The camera can be mounted on the exterior of a building, for example, directly above the drill hole that was made into the interior of the building. However, you should keep in mind that the camera's cable width is relatively thick at the end. This all has to fit through the drill hole into the interior of the building. In terms of length, a 36 centimeter thick wall shouldn't be a problem. However, I'm not a fan of this approach. I installed empty conduits on the exterior facade and attached special junction boxes at the ends. The camera can then be mounted directly onto the box. I'll show you that later. Inside the box, the camera can then be mounted directly onto the box. I'll show you that later. Inside the box, the network cable can then be connected to the camera's LAN port. The other end of the network cable is then connected to the switch inside the house. The PoE switch is a network distributor that not only distributes the data signal, but also provides power supply for the LAN ports. I've often been asked the following question. Does the PoE camera have to be connected directly to the NVR or the NAS? No, that's not necessary. With Reolink cameras, it's no problem at all to install the cameras. Behind a switch, behind a router, or even behind several such devices, I have access points in my network where 3 switches are connected in series and the camera is only connected after the 3rd switch. Even so, I can easily access the camera from any computer that is on the same network. The NVR is no longer in my office either, but in the basement. The NVR is connected to my home network with just one network cable. I can also access the NVR from any device on the same network. Of course, this also works with my mobile phones on which I have installed the Reolink app. I will now open the back of the camera and insert the SD card. After that, I will register the camera in the phone app. I'll do that up here at my desk. When I install the camera on the house wall, I'll be at a height of about 4 to 5 meters. When you are positioned up on the ladder, it is essential to properly and precisely set the camera's viewing angle. It makes perfect sense to thoroughly check this critical aspect right away during the initial installation process, especially while you are still up on the ladder, to ensure that the camera's alignment is precisely correct. This immediate verification helps prevent the need for inconvenient and time-consuming adjustments later on, ensuring optimal performance from the start. In my considered opinion, it absolutely makes perfect sense to meticulously set up the camera on the mobile phone beforehand. That way, I can clearly and precisely see on the screen exactly what the camera is actively recording and then properly and carefully adjust the viewing angle to achieve the optimal perspective. The other essential settings, like comprehensive alarm monitoring, detailed image settings, or for example, other advanced functionalities, recording, can easily be done afterwards. So now I'll open the back of the camera and insert the SD card. Afterwards, I'll show you how I set up the camera in the app on the phone. After that, I will replace the existing TrendNet camera on my house facade with this one. Finally, I will set up the camera on the client and the NVR. But before I get started, I have a request for you. If you like my video, then take this opportunity and click like below. That would make me really happy. It also helps me and my channel grow. If you have any questions, suggestions, criticism, or feedback, no problem. Just write to me in the comments section below the video. I'll reply as quickly as I can. If you're interested in the products and want to set up your own video surveillance system, then check out the video description below. There, I've linked the camera for you, the NVR, and all the other components. In the description, you'll also find some links to the manufacturers and the installation guides. Maybe there's something suitable for you as well. Before I activate the camera on my phone, I'll first set up the passwords and do a quick functionality test. In my opinion, the client is better suited for this than the phone. On the client, the screen is larger. When I started the client, It automatically detected the new camera. I just need to click on the camera and the system automatically prompts me to set a new password. Now all that's missing is a name for the camera. The name of the device can be changed later if desired. The camera is now fully ready for immediate use. Now I will proceed to connect the necessary components, camera to my phone app. After that, the camera can be mounted on the house wall. When I launch the app on my phone Wi-Fi, the new camera is automatically detected. On the screen, I always see the last camera I used. I can scroll all the way down through the menu, and the new camera will be displayed. Here, you can now see the new camera with the name Terrace Carport. I click on the camera. The default username is already preset. I just need to enter the password that I just set on the client. As soon as I have entered the password, the camera's live image is displayed. I can switch directly to the camera and, for example, adjust the image quality as I need it. Now that I can also access the camera from my phone, it's time to mount the Reolink RC81A on the house wall. For this, I will first remove the old camera, attach the new camera to the base and adjust the viewing angle correctly. After the NVR has finished booting up, I am taken directly to the home screen with an overview of all cameras. I selected the single view and the new camera, clicked on it. I get an error message because the camera cannot be registered. The password is missing. I change that by clicking on the blue link to log in. The login page is now automatically displayed for me. The name of the camera is already preset by Reolink here as well. I just need to enter the password. The input is done exclusively on the NVR using the mouse is connected to the NVR. Unfortunately, keyboard input is not possible. The Reolink RC810A is mounted on my house wall and provides me with great live images of my garden. The recordings I can view via the SD card, or I can access the network video recorder, my Reolink RLN36. Using the app, the client, or the browser, I can view the recordings from all my cameras at any time. If you feel like setting up your own surveillance system, just check out the description below my video. All the components, the camera and also the NVR, I have linked for you there. If you order through my links, my channel receives a small commission at no extra cost to you. Additionally, I have also put the links to the manufacturer's manuals in the video description. The link to my first video where I show you how to set up an NVR for the first time, or to the third video in which I show how I configure the camera settings. You can find them in the playlist. Did you like this video? Did it help you? Give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Write your questions in the comment section. I'll answer you as quickly as possible. If you want to know what I have planned next, I'll just say fiber optic connection, then subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button at the bottom right and you won't miss any of the new videos. I'm already looking forward to having you back and say ciao.